I'm Kim McGuinness, I'm your Northumbria Police and Crime Commissioner. First of all, thank you for holding this all-important service and raising awareness of this incredibly important day. White Ribbon Day brings us together to remember all of the women who have lost their lives to domestic abuse. It's frightening figures. 1 woman every 4 days is killed by a partner or by an ex-partner in the UK. This has got to stop. And the way that it will stop is for all of us to pay attention. Domestic abuse is everybody's business. Even if you can't bring yourself to worry about the victims, even if you can't bring yourself to think about the risks, it costs our economy £66 billion a year to deal with the issues surrounding domestic abuse. But for me, it is about those victims. It is about those people who live in fear. It is about those people who are at risk in their own homes. It is about those people who don't have control of this situation, who we need to support and we need to help. Domestic abuse is not something we can choose to do nothing about, and I'm really proud of the relentless approach that we take in Northumbria to tackling this problem and driving numbers in the right direction. We have to remember that domestic abuse is a hidden crime, and so low numbers of reported crimes doesn't necessarily mean that the problem is going away. Sometimes it just means that our victims don't have the strength or the ability, or they don't have the means to come forward and talk about it. We have to raise awareness of these services, and that starts with initiatives like White Ribbon Day, where we're telling men that they are part of the solution, that calling it out, stopping it from happening, supporting women with this really insidious crime is imperative. It's really important that men get involved in this. Since I've become Police and Crime Commissioner, I've done a lot of work on this issue. We've got a domestic abuse specialist in our office. We have a violence reduction unit which singles out domestic abuse as one of the key issues that we have to tackle and prevent. But I've also done some really inspiring work with organisations which are very male orientated, like the fire service and actually still the police, who come forward and stand proud and say this is not something that we will tolerate. And I'm really pleased that in our area that's something that continues to happen, and we continue to get that commitment and grow this campaign every year. So as I've already said, I'm so pleased that despite the fact that we can't all be together in one room like normal, you've come together to talk about this incredibly important issue and to highlight it in your circles. We all need to know that domestic abuse is everybody's problem. Throughout the pandemic, it's something that I've been incredibly concerned about. Another thing within this is the fact that a huge number of children are affected by domestic abuse. And of course, during lockdown, we've seen families at home not necessarily being able to go out. At first, we saw schools taken away. And so all of the places that women who were at risk and their children could escape to were taken away. And to me, that represented a real problem. And so what we did was come together as a sector, bringing together all of the organisations that work in Northumbria, all of the incredible charities, to talk to people about the fact that if they see something that they aren't comfortable with, they need to report it. We all need to be watching out for our neighbours. Throughout this pandemic, the message has been to stay safe, to protect each other, to come together as a community. And domestic abuse is something that we really need to do that on, and that is something that we need to continue to do this on beyond the end of this pandemic, which I hope will be soon. So I'm sorry that we can't all be together talking about this, coming up with constructive solutions together. Thank you to the men who are already supporting the women in your world with this issue, who are already raising awareness of it. And thank you to everybody here. And most of all, thank you to the survivors who continue to bravely tell their story, to fight their cases, to try and put a stop to this for other people.